I think a really big factor in business is you can have it all planned out. You can have the business model, you can have the forecast, you can have all the people in place, but at a certain point, you're going to need to turn the ship.
I think a big thing that I hear within everyone's testimony is always God putting him in a position of stillness. I didn't quit my job to then go work for somebody else. All right, this is God putting me in a position to not only be still, but then just go all in on myself.
The Lord just somehow comes in your heart and changes what you love, what you want, what your aspirations are, who you want to be around.
Welcome, Brady and I, a 27-year-old serial entrepreneur and ministry leader here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Well, welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
What's one thing people should know about you? Let's put it this way. If someone was explaining you to someone else, what would be the thing that would make you feel good that they said about you?
He's an overcomer. I think that's a skill set and the mindset I want to lean on for the rest of my life. Right?
That's good.
Absolutely.
Nothing you can't overcome.
100%.
Amen.
And, the act of just doing something. I feel like we get caught up in our heads so much. And, of course, that's the enemy trying to speak to us. We just need to do it. Take the first step. Take a step in faith. And I believe it all comes around. If you don't get to your goal, you've learned 1,000 things that get you closer the next time you try, right? And I believe, of course, we all believe we're all made in the image of God. And I don't believe God's up there in heaven making subpar product.
Facts.
Right?
That's
Everybody
good.
he produces is made in his image. We should honor him by striving to be like him. Of course, we'll never get there. That's an impossible task. But the least we could do is be the best person we can possibly be, given our environment, given our resources. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Of course.
I love that. Yeah, just even backtracking a little bit. If we could potentially be perfect, that would be so boring once you got there.
100%.
What would you do once you're perfect?
There'd be no overcoming. I wouldn't exist, man.
It'd be life would be so boring. And it's funny because a lot of the time.
Are you saying life's going to be boring in heaven?
See, I've said that before and somebody said the exact same thing. But it's it's going to be different in heaven, obviously.
Absolutely.
I don't know what heaven looks like, but I feel like we're still going to have our things that we're going to be doing in
100%.
heaven.
You're going to be holding the camera in heaven. I know that.
Probably.
Do a little heavenly podcast.
Yo, cameras in heaven must be 10,000K. Quality wise, not money.
Yeah.
What should people know about the old Brady and how did you get here? Because I feel like obviously we're in Bible study together. We've known each other for a while, so I know a little bit of that story, and I think it's interesting and would be good for other people to hear.
The old Brady needed to be humbled. And of course, that was the act of God. Only the Lord knew how to humble me. The old Brady was living of the world, pleased by things of the world. And the old Brady quickly learned that those things don't have any everlasting impact. Those things don't grow you up as a human. Those things cause habitual sin, right? And I feel like when we get stuck in those alleyways, we get stuck around those people that continuously pour into us in a negative way, we're destined to fail, right? And it wasn't until the Lord dramatically came into my life that I learned these things are empty. These relationships are empty. These things that I look forward to, these quick dopamine hits are so empty. And how, again, going back to the first conversation, how can I live up to God's will for me if I'm constantly pleasing myself in the short term with empty people, empty activities, etc.?
What did that look like? So if somebody's going through that same situation right now, or they went through it, how could they relate to you? What were those dopamine hits that you're speaking of?
I don't know how much I want to get into here.
Yeah, you don't have to go too
dumping
deep,
out the cans.
Yeah.
Shallow relationships is a big one to me.
Yeah.
Now that I have really good biblically based friends, I've learned, what's a good friend versus what's a bad friend. And, if you find yourself constantly going out to the bar with your friends or constantly doing, what's a good word for it? Degenerate activities with your friends, those aren't real relationships.
Right.
Especially when there's drugs and alcohol involved. Those conversations are fake. And I learned quickly, going out to the bar with my friends or going out on the weekends, the conversations always ended up in the same place. The night always ended up in the same place. But now that I'm surrounded with a strong biblical cast of men, those conversations are always building, right? You're always getting deeper in your relationship, deeper in your faith together. And there's nothing like walking shoulder to shoulder with someone, in the pursuit of success when it comes to the business stuff, and most importantly, in pursuit of success when it comes to knowing and loving the Lord.
That's good. Yeah, even you're completely right, because it's funny. if your boys only say I love you when you're all drunk, there's probably a problem there. You know what I mean? Like, I remember that vividly. Like, we would all just be feeling good, drinking too much probably, and then that's where all the feelings would come out. And it's like, it's quite literally the opposite now with us.
100%.
Which is so dope.
And maybe flipping that question back on you, old David versus new David. I know just as dramatic of a change I went through.
Yeah.
You know, dive into maybe what the catalyst was to get from that David to this new David.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was quite literally seeing what that life already looked like, because I was very fortunate to have experienced a lot of those things without even necessarily needing to see the financial success just yet. I was in a position where I was working for someone that was very wealthy, and their life didn't look as fruitful as I thought it would look, even with having all those materialistic possessions, supercars, yachts, private jets. Like, they still look miserable. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I thought when you made this amount of money, your life was supposed to be like sunshines and rainbow.
More money, more problems. That's what they say.
Facts. So yeah, for me, it was just seeing that, and then also just not being happy in the position that I was in with the people that I was working with and for, and quitting. And then
the leap of faith right there.
Yeah. Quitting my quote unquote dream job, and then moving back in with my parents and just being extremely humbled. And
how old were you when you moved back in with your parents?
23.
23. Yeah, that's crazy. I could imagine, you know, as a man making that transition from dream job, awesome city. I know you said you were flying private jets around with your boss back to the parents' house in good old Raleigh, North Carolina.
Crazy.
But how did God work through that?
Yeah, I mean, he made this.
100%.
Right? Like, everything that's happening now, all the success and all the learning has just been, you can just tell like how intentional God is, and he will not give up on anyone. And I had like a revelation moment, reading the Bible and reading more of the New Testament, just like seeing like Paul's journey. And it's like, God is so intentional with Paul, because he literally used someone that was such a wicked human, literally murdering Christians in cold blood, and switched him to writing half of the New Testament for all of Christianity.
Paul's
It's like if Paul, someone so wicked, can be touched by God and switch his life and just live so closely how Jesus lived. Like, he obviously was still a sinner and all these different things, but you look at Paul and he acted so much like Jesus. And it's just cool because he was just a human like you and I. Like, everyone else can do the same exact thing.
And that clicked while you're reading the Word?
Yeah.
It was in that moment you decided, you know what, I'm going to change things?
No. No. That I just fast forwarded like 2 years.
Sure.
But the revelation of just like, I saw what happened to Paul, and then I realized like how intentional God is, and then I kind of looked back at how my life has changed. And
I feel like a lot of Christians, new Christians, can sort of point back to a new moment or a moment where they're like, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm gonna let God in. I'm gonna start studying the Word. I'm gonna be in communion with other Christians and fellowship with other Christians. And you can't describe it. You can't contextualize it. The Lord just somehow comes in your heart and changes what you love, what you want, what your aspirations are, who you want to be around. And, you know, looking back in both of our lives over the past 2 years, all the work he's done. And I think that gives me personally a lot of hope for the future.
Yeah.
I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I know today's been a great day and I'm going to stay in that.
Yeah.
But I know he's provided for me every single day in the past. And who am I to doubt that moving forward?
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, I think even my word this year being that we had a meeting with God Made, and we were giving out words that we wanted to really like dive deep in this year, and like intentionality is just such a huge one. Just being intentional and seeing how intentional God is just amazing. But
have you talked about God Made much on here?
No.
I think this is a unique angle you and I can bring here.
We can get into that.
Okay.
We can get into that. But I want to know more about you. Dude.
Sure.
I want to know more about you. So, okay. So you found your faith, but what was that pivoting moment? What was that moment of like, okay, I'm like, God, I need you because I can't do this in my own strength.
Sure.
Like,
So I guess the big moment that was the humbling process was a really big injury I had, right? Let's zoom back a bit. I graduated nursing school, very good in school. I was very passionate about the field of medicine. ex-nurse boy.
Ex-nurse boy.
I set on this journey to just create an impact to help people. And, come to find out the field I went into was a little bit more empty than I expected it to be. Through the time when I was a nurse, I was always into business. I owned a distribution company back up in Michigan. I was sort of on the early wave of FBA sellers. I know FBA is a hot topic right now and people are crushing.
How old were you? What year was this?
Oh man. I mean, going back in the business journey, I remember I started my first business in 8th grade. I remember my friend Joey Weimer,
shout out Joey.
putting me on, he's a professional baseball player now. He's doing well.
Let's go.
Putting me on the baby shoe grind.
Baby shoe grind.
Yeah. So there's a store called Once Upon a Child.
Stealing shoes from
No.
kids?
And it's a resale shop, right?
Okay.
And we'd go to these stores and we'd pick through the bins and find like all the retro Jordans in baby shoes. And since babies only wear their shoes for a couple months at a time, you'd find like a pair of retro 12s for $1, sell them on eBay for $60. So that hustle sort of prevented me from having a normal job all throughout junior high and high school.
What a blessing.
And then when I got to college, I rented out a small commercial space and ran a distribution company. I grew from, flipping shoes to flipping anything from toilet paper to golf balls, right? And this was right in the beginning of the pandemic, so the big online boom was coming.
Yeah.
And I found a lot of, basically I could be the middleman between the warehouses and Amazon. They had no relationship, so I was the one who established that relationship. I would order product in bulk quantities and sell it on Amazon for a premium.
Nice.
That really got me into this entrepreneur thing's awesome. I don't have to go work for anybody. I can decide when I want to work. I remember I used to go to nursing school classes all day, get my homework done, and then me and my now fiance would head up to the office and be labeling and shipping products all night.
Let's go.
So awesome story there, but
ride or die.
Ended up getting rid of that business, moving down here. Took a break from the whole business thing, but I always knew in my heart that was the direction God wanted to put me in. And, I was a travel nurse down here for a year, doing all the things I most definitely did not want to do. I remember going into hospitals where at 22 years old, I was the most experienced person there. And that is terrifying, man. Let alone when you have your license on the line, but you have human lives on the line, right? And, if people need IVs, if people have questions, they're coming to you. I only had 2 years experience at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. Well, of course, I tried to know,
but
little
scary.
But thank the Lord, he got me out of that situation. And it wasn't sunshine and rainbows, the transition. I was playing flag football with a couple buddies of mine, some friends I made down here, and it ended up snapping my Achilles tendon playing flag football. Co-ed flag football, nonetheless.
You got crossed up by a woman?
I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'll let you make that. There's truth to that. But within an hour of that happening, I was in the back of the ER. Doctor looked at me, complete rupture. Brady, you need surgery this week. You're going to be off your feet for 6 months. So obviously you can't be a nurse off your feet. The Lord put me on the couch for 6 months.
That's crazy. And
through that process, I was able to establish 2 of my LLCs that are currently still running, 2 of the companies I run. And without that injury, without quite possibly one of the lowest points in my life, I would not be where I am today. And not even speaking from a business perspective, it's speaking from a friendship, a brotherhood perspective. It's speaking from the relationship I have with God perspective.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer. If I did not go through that time, if the Lord did not come to me like a lion and humble me, I would still be doing the things I was.
Yeah.
I would still be going out to Glenwood. I would still be, putting around as a nurse, sort of miserable.
Yeah.
And nothing on nursing, great profession. There's incredible people who do it, but it was not for me.
Right. I think a big thing that I hear within everyone's testimony is always God putting him in a position of stillness. And it's the same thing with me. I quit my job and I was just at my parents' house. I'm okay, it's time to go all in. I didn't quit my job to then go work for somebody else.
100%.
In my opinion, it was all right, this is God putting me in a position to not only be still, but then just go all in on myself. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's something that I hear all the time. It's just God will put you on your butt so you can finally listen.
I think that's really important for people to recognize the timeline there, especially in your situation. You weren't SWD Media the way you are today 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You had to go through it.
100%.
You had to learn. You had to fail at a lot of things. Of course, knowing you as well as I had the past 2 years, I've gotten to hear about some of those failures and a lot of the wins. But, in my book, those aren't true failures, right? They got you to where you are today. If you weren't learning things such as, picking business partners, what systems to run on, what products, what value to put out there, you would not have the polished business you have today. And I like to think we're still going through those processes.
Every day.
And we will until the day we die.
100%.
Especially when it comes to business, right? I think a really big factor in business is you can have it all planned out. You can have the business model, you can have the forecast, you can have all the people in place, but at a certain point, you're going to need to turn the ship 180 degrees. And if you're not able to pivot and pivot quickly, I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated and sink.
Yeah, I agree. Alex Ramosi had it was a quote, I'm going to butcher it so bad, but it's like the path to success and the path to failure are on the same path. It's just depending on when you decide to stop is the difference. So
that's good.
It hit me. I was like, dang, he's spitting right now.
Why do you think, let's back up a little bit here. I think business, the E word, entrepreneurship, not the biggest fan of it. I feel like it's very glorified, especially in the social media world.
Almost cliche now.
Yes, yeah. It's almost like a status symbol. And it's really not. It's hard work. And I know, knowing you personally, you've been through some of this stuff, is you don't know where your next check's coming from. You don't know where your ability to pay rent or your ability to buy groceries. And that is not for the weak of heart, right? And, that's where the religious side steps in,
right?
Having faith, right? I think it translates the whole line down to business, right? If you don't have faith in what you're doing, you're destined to fail. If you don't have faith that you're doing the Lord's will through your business, you're destined to fail. And I find a lot of people, they're in this idea phase way too long with business, right? I talk to friends, they sort of see that my success on paper, right? They see a gym being built, they see a golf company being established. And they're like, they compare their chapter 1 to my chapter 2. Yeah. And they're two very different stories. And I think a lot of people just get stuck in the monotony of comparing themselves to people on social media when really all you have to do is take a step forward. Amen. I don't know if you have anybody in your life that struggles with that, but I find that to be a very repetitive consequence of the online glorification. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the problem of seeing overnight success, right? People are like, oh, like podcast, it's so easy. Like I'm going to start my own podcast. And then you don't realize that you have to spend, at least if you want to go to the extreme like I do, you have to spend $10K on freaking equipment, and then you have to learn how to edit, and you have to chop up all these different things. And it's so much work that goes into what seems like such a polished thing.
100%.
And not even just the work and the money itself, but the years that have come to then be able to get it this polished, And the reality of it is most people don't have the funds in order to make it this polished instantly. Sure. Like it usually is going to be very, very trash at the beginning. But then if you can just work your way through and just go from selling kids' shoes and stealing shoes off of kids' feet to then, opening your own gym and your golf business, like that's the timeline. You said 8th grade and now you're 27. So from 8th grade, which was, how old were you there?
I don't know.
Young. From 8th grade to 27, like people don't see that in between. They just see
all the lessons you learn.
Exactly.
Right? Like as you mentioned, the podcast, you could box up all this equipment and send it to somebody down the street that really wants to start a podcast. Yeah. They have no idea how to set it up, how to use it. I mean, that's where those years come in, the reps, the failures, the wins. That's when you learn how to set up the next step, right? It's a fun journey. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just taking it day by day and figuring it out.
100%. Okay, let's get back on track.
Sure, sorry.
With you.
Rambling.
Okay, so you got put on your butt. God came, said, hey, you're going to be still for 6 months. Within that 6 months, what happened?
Within that 6 months, I came to peace with the fact that life was going to change. I came to peace with the fact that this degree I worked so hard to get, this career I worked so hard to build is no longer my plan. And, that wasn't all revealed to me overnight. It was day by day. And as time progressed, the Lord introduced to me people, introduced to me resources, gave me ambition, gave me vision. And this was really before I knew the Lord intimately, right? He was working on me way before I decided to come to know and love him.
Yeah. And real quick, did you, like, as you were working, were there moments where you're like, I'm going to quit? Or like, was it just like out of nowhere during that 6 months, you were like, okay, this is no longer for me? Or was there like spurts of like, this isn't for me as you were working?
I think those thoughts come and go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there was any time where I really wanted to throw in the towel.
Okay.
Again, based off the prior experience in building businesses, I knew this wasn't going to take off overnight, right? It's still on its way to taking off.
Right.
I can't say there was ever a day I really wanted to quit, but I would say there was days where I had no idea what I was doing. There is still days where I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's the act of trying. It's the act of just doing it. Who's the actor? Shia LaBeouf? Is that his name? From
Transformers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember his meme? It's the, just do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that should have been a meme. That's the truth, man. He was speaking facts. And
I
saw that the other day. But just do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with trying. Of course, things change when you have employees, when you have people counting on you, then the stakes are a little bit higher. But in the initial stages of learning, just try.
All the risk.
100%.
All in. So you realize that you're no longer going to be doing what you just went to school for how many years?
4.5.
4.5 years. So those 4.5 years, not necessarily wasted. You met your fantastic fiance.
Of course.
And maybe some good friends or whatever the case may be, and obviously lessons. But you basically said that degree, it's not serving you anymore.
Not directly anymore.
Now you're opening your gym, or did the golf business come first? Or I guess, what are the two businesses that you own right now?
So the golf business technically was incorporated first.
Okay.
That's, during the pandemic, a lot of people got into golf. It was the only thing you could do. And I quickly fell in love with the sport. Not saying I'm good at it, not saying I will ever be good at it, but I love being outside. I love, the one-on-one time you get with your friend while you're playing on the course, the mental chess golf is. And I remember looking around at golf products. I love the niche. It's a very high income niche. People expect to spend a lot of money when they play golf.
Right.
And I started building my golf bag, these cool aesthetics, the cool head covers, towels, the bag color choices. And I was sort of looking at the market and seeing that there's either a cheap knockoff Amazon brand or there's a super premium high-end product. Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's no middle ground here. So I went off. Again, not knowing what I was doing, started looking for manufacturers, started to talking to people over in China.
How'd you do that?
Alibaba.
Okay.
Went through about 5 or 6 suppliers, got samples from all of them.
And that's a website or an app, or?
That's a website.
Okay.
Most of the stuff that exists in the U.S. today is most definitely from an avenue like Alibaba.
Gotcha.
And, found a supplier I really liked, found a supplier that communicated a little bit better than others. With the language barrier, you have to communicate in a lot of pictures, symbols. You can go with plain English, but it's usually quite broken. And through the trial and error process, over about 6 months, I developed what I thought was the perfect golf head cover. Put it up on the market, put it up on social media, sold out within 3 months.
Let's go.
So from there, I'm like, okay, more designs, more colors, better marketing. And so far, I can't keep product in stock.
That's a blessing.
Very slow growth, but that's the golf business in a nutshell. The gym business was sort of that was my passion project. That was, me as a nurse, again, going back to the pandemic, seeing all the people that did unfortunately pass away, they were just riddled with chronic illness. You didn't see anybody necessarily being overcome by sickness if their body is prepared to handle it. And I learned, through my studies, through my experience, that chronic illness can be, I don't want to say easily avoided, but avoided with correct exercise, diet, mental health, all that fun stuff. So I decided, I'm going to do something about it. I'm sick of watching it happen. I was sick of being a nurse and just watching pills being prescribed. No one was really taking patients and saying, there's another way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as easy. It's not going to be an overnight fix, but it's definitely going to make a long-term difference. So set off on a mission to just teach people, give people the resources how to live a healthier life. And the one thing I knew really well was fitness. I was a college athlete, high school athlete. I absolutely love the way fitness impacts my physical health and mental health. And I know you can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
I'm not me if I don't hit the gym at least 5 or 6 times a week. I'm not
terrible.
me if I don't go around. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to help people chew on that. I want to help people digest that. So I set off on a mission to not only teach people the basics, but help them establish the habits it takes, right? You find a lot during New Year's, people hit the gym for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to do New Year's challenges. We are trying to instill healthy habits in people that are going to last a lifetime. And of course, that mindset didn't develop overnight, but through the 2 years of business growth, it's absolutely worked. And so I started the gym, signed a lease without knowing anything about commercial real estate. Actually met one of my close friends through that process, Corbin. He's in the men's group now.
Let's go. How difficult was that to sign a lease? Because for me, even thinking about potentially in the future having like my own studio space here in Raleigh, like a commercial, in a commercial building, I'm like, okay, I don't even know what that process even looks like. So for you, like, what were the things that you had to show? Like, if somebody is trying to do exactly what you did, like, how could they go from like start to finish, basically?
Sure. So in hindsight, I got absolutely blessed. No one in their right mind should have given me access to a commercial lease.
Okay.
I formulated the business to the Secretary of State about 2 months prior. I had 2 months of business experience.
That's
right?
crazy.
In your case, you've had the media business for how many years now?
Going on 6.
A landlord's going to see that, look at your numbers, be like, okay, David can afford rent. In my case, the landlord took a chance on me. His name is Mark. Mark is incredible. He's the best landlord I could ever imagine.
Let's go, Mark.
But without Mark, none of this would exist as it does today. But yeah, that was a gift from God. I remember calling real estate agents left and right for weeks on end. Nobody would take my calls. They're like, who is this idiot
Interesting.
trying to rent out space?
Yeah.
And I remember I called Hobbs Properties, and this goofy Southern boy named Corbin answered the phone, and he took the chance on me, and haven't looked back since.
So that's just a lesson of persistence.
Absolutely.
Even when things like make zero sense. Exactly. Overcoming. Even when things make no sense, just staying persistent and overcoming all of the no's.
Absolutely.
Because most people would have done like $2 or $3 and like, all right, I can't do it. So that's awesome.
I'm a firm believer in not giving up. You press
awesome.
until you can't press anymore. You operate as quickly as you can until you are told to stop.
Let's go.
I get a lot of that from my mother. Shout out Carrie.
Shout out Carrie. Let's go. Okay, so you get the lease, and then you need gym equipment. Do you have $100,000 where you can just spend on gym equipment? Was the nursing business that good, or
no? Through some creative loans and savings, I was able to buy enough gym equipment. The first gym outfit was about $40,000 to $50,000.
Okay.
And that was quite literally everything I had.
Yeah.
And I'd, again, never done it before, from picking out flooring options to what sort of turf we should go with, what sort of equipment we should go with. Trying to predict the future of the business without knowing if there's going to be a business was a fun time. But, granted, during that time, I was also on one leg. I had a stilt on.
That's crazy.
Putting together 1,000-pound gym equipment, painting 15-foot walls, putting up the mirrors.
Doctor's worst nightmare right here.
It was a blast. I had so much fun. And looking back, I was so naive. And I had that childlike faith in the business.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good representation of the faith I want to have moving forward, not only in the business pursuit, but in my relationship with God, right? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm just going to stay in today. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to honor God as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And yeah, through the whole process, let's fast forward a bit. I started training full-time. My main goal in the business was just to replace my nursing income. I want to go from full-time registered nurse to full-time personal trainer.
Okay.
I want to build relationships, help people learn fitness, all the stuff I just previously talked about. And then as the years went by, I'm like, all right, I want to scale this thing. I'm starting to get a grip, learn that this is definitely an income-producing business. So, from that time when I started to now, I believe I've done about 10 hires. All people who are way more skilled than I could ever be.
So real quick, so you started it and you were the only personal trainer there, or did you hire someone, or
I did have a guy with me at the time.
Okay.
We separated about 6 months into it. It just didn't work out. No hard feelings there.
But it was just you and him at the start.
100%.
And then it was just you?
We hired a person, then let him go. So there was never less than 2.
Okay. So there was always 2 people filling the space. Gotcha.
And through that process, definitely learning how to hire has been the biggest catalyst in growth. I had no idea what I was doing when I first hired people. Again, you see the common theme here.
Yeah.
No clue how to do it. Didn't do too much research. You're like, you know what? Let's put a job posting up, see what happens.
Action. Just taking action.
Absolutely. And, the big thing I've learned through the hiring process, and I want to get better at this skill, is not necessarily finding the most skilled people at the trade, but finding good people.
Yeah.
And I call them conversations, not interviews. Once you put the interview taboo on there, it sort of puts a barrier on what you can talk about and what you can't talk about.
Yeah.
But the philosophy moving forward with hiring is just to find good people. Find people you can trust. Find people who are lovable by many different demographics of people of walks of life. And they will learn. Find good people who are passionate, and they will pour everything they have into their clients. And yeah, that's where we're at.
Let's go. Okay. So do you want to touch on a little bit of the future or what that looks like?
Sure.
Okay. So you've had this gym for how long?
A little over 2 years now.
So first gym, a little over 2 years, and you've realized, okay, this is fantastic. I love this business model. I love being able to help people, not only people that are going through the actual transformation in the gym themselves, but also your employees. And you're taking the next step. What does that look like?
100%. So we're upgrading all facets, adding more staff, new branding, new logo,
Let's go.
new vision, new mission. We're going from very fitness focused to wellness focused. That includes a lot more resources on the outside, such as nutrition. We just invested in a body composition machine. I want to make this thing a bit more medical grade, sort of parlaying it back to the nursing days. I want to give people sort of a one-stop shop to fix whatever health problem they have going on.
That's good.
But yeah, definitely a nicer space. And, at the beginning, that's all we could get. That's the only person that would give me a chance was this old camera factory warehouse. And we did a good job at making it look good. And you've seen the growth, the progression over time.
100%.
But now we're going for a bit more of the aesthetic appeal. We want it to look like a wellness facility, right? We're going to be offering a lot more group training, a lot more personal training options. We're hiring a nutritionist right now, along with the body analyzer. I just see our depth in the market growing, right? And who knows? I don't want to speak too much on what it looks like because, as I said before, we could move in that building day one and we're going to pivot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. We're currently in negotiations over a lease. I'm praying any day this lease will be presented and signed. We have a full team of contractors ready to go. We have everything ready to go. We just need this paperwork signed, which has been an incredible lesson on patience.
Yeah.
So again, I'm go, go, go. Let's get it done. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think the Lord just wants me to chill out, trust him a bit more, right?
And his perfect timing.
100%.
That's awesome. Okay. So that's the future. In the golf business, you're still doing that, or are you taking...
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's very seasonal. Beginning of summer, midsummer, and Black Friday is going to be 90% of your sales. To sort of bridge that gap in the meantime, I've decided to go a bit more business to business route.
Okay.
There's a lot of golf clubs, pro shops, businesses that want custom products made. And right now the options as far as custom products are very limited. It's all usually from the same handful of companies. I want to go in and disrupt that market a little bit. I want to provide more options, better service. So as of a week ago, I just hired 3 cold callers.
Let's go.
They are currently out calling every golf course they can get their hands on.
Hitting the phones.
And I think we have 2 meetings booked on the calendar next week. So I'm going to
go.
get some experience in the online sales world there.
Let's go.
And we're going to start doing custom products.
Gotcha. A question that I had for you, because I've been listening to a lot of people and podcast, and they always say like go all in on one thing. For you, I see you and I feel like you're doing it well. Obviously, I don't know the very like all the details of it, but I feel like you're balancing both well. But has there been a point where you're like, okay, I need to just take a pause on this real fast and go all in on the golf business, or take a break on this and go all in on the gym? Like, how has it been balancing both?
It's a good question. I don't have a perfect answer for you.
Yeah.
I'm not a firm believer of go all in on one thing. I've enjoyed having multiple projects. I mean, the fitness business, the wellness business, the golf business, and now the ministry on top of it. Yeah. I think having more projects just grows you as a human. It takes those limiting mindsets off, right? If you can handle 3, why not handle 4? Yeah. And yeah, you're eventually going to get burnout.
That's a crackhead mentality. I don't know about that.
Maybe one day when I'm a husband and a father, those things won't stick as well. Yeah. But man, I'm 27 years old. Yeah. I have nothing but time and freedom right now. I would be wasting my God-given potential if I didn't go for as much as I possibly could today.
So do you think, because I have also thought that same thing, and I'll like push back a little bit. Do you think because the gym is a brick and mortar and there's really almost, there's kind of a glass ceiling, like you can't fit 1,000 people in the gym every hour, so there is kind of a glass ceiling. So do you think because of that, you're able to handle different projects? Because for me, I feel like with the media agency, it's like there's no glass ceiling really. Like, absolutely. I could always hire more people and like just continue to scale this thing. So why would I then pivot and do something else that's going to take my attention off of this thing that I can continue to scale rapidly?
Of course. Yeah. There's no perfect answer to that one either. Yeah. Right. I think
just your opinion.
One big thing on scaling businesses is automation, right? Delegation, right? That's not something I'm necessarily good at. I like to learn a skill as much as I can. Let's take meta ads, for example. Yeah, I could have hired an agency a year ago to do all the meta ads for me, but now I know if someone's selling me on it or if someone's going to run my meta ads, I know if they're full of crap.
BS or not.
Right?
Yeah.
And
which is good.
That's a great skill to have. And I try to implement that wherever I go. Like, that's why I'm leading all the sales calls in the golf business right now. I need to know what the customer wants, how we should speak to them before I go train a salesperson, right? I can't have someone out here making promises we're going to deliver solid gold head covers, right? But as far
That'd be sick, though.
As far as balancing, I think you sort of have to take a look at your life, take a look where you're at. Where's your discipline? How's your consistency, right? And I think a good strategy for that is blocking out your days.
Yeah.
Every hour of the day should be scheduled. And I found with the gym, I always had free time, right? I'd get my admin tasks done, I'd get my outreach done, I'd put my ads up, and then I got 4 hours left at the end of the day. I'm not going to waste that time.
Yeah.
Again, I have time.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of your God-given talent and ability to be sitting on your hands, dude. We're 27, 25.
25.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think my only thing is with that extra time, why not go deeper on the business?
Sure.
Like if you already did everything you had to do, you're like, okay, maybe I could start cranking out some content ideas for the business, or you know what I mean?
Think of your businesses as an investment portfolio.
Yeah.
All the big investment guys say diversify, right?
That's fair.
It depends. I mean, you're obviously very skilled at what you do. Unless the Lord brings another opportunity on your hands, you should totally focus on what you do.
Yeah.
And again, there's no magic answer. There's no magic pill there. That's just what the Lord has given me right now, and I'm doing my best to steward it well. Who am I to ask for more if I can't take care of the little He's given me, right?
Right. Amen.
And that's with anything He provides, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain on that because I've heard both, and like you said, I don't think there is a right answer, but I've definitely heard both arguments, and I think they're both relatively true. I think there's truths in both of them.
Absolutely agree.
So yeah, cool. All right, let's talk about God Made just a little bit. Let's end it off on a high note here. God Made Run Club. What a blessing, first of all. Like, I would have never in a million years would have thought this would have happened, and like all the growth that has happened, and not even in numbers, but in the depth of where we're going. It's like when I first started the Run Club, I just ran 2 miles.
100%.
That's all it was. It was just, I'm just going to run 2 miles, and hopefully you and some of the guys from Bible study are like coming along.
Hopefully get a handful out there.
Yeah. Like let's get like active, you know, and like hang out. Like really it was just, okay, how can I get my boys to hang out with me a little longer every week? So let's do Run Club. And then, I mean, it's just blown up.
Yeah.
It's just blown up. We just gave out 100 bags to unfortunate people in unfortunate positions, aka homeless people. The majority have been to homeless people, and then 200 Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Absolutely. And what a blessing. And not to mention, we got blessed with 95 people coming out to minister.
Insane.
And I would assume 60% of that, 70% of those people, it was their first time.
Yeah.
And it took something like God Made to give them that push. What an honor.
Yeah.
It's so cool. God Made Run Club has changed my life.
Amen.
I'm sure you might feel the same there, especially watching it grow, watching the baby grow up into a little bit of a toddler now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a testament to trusting the Lord, consistency, discipline, and watch what happened.
Yeah.
And he's given us everything we've needed in the short term. And it's such an opposite perspective when we're talking about business and then when we're talking about ministry. It's both of our first experience in ministry, right?
Yeah.
It's not about growth. In media, in the gym business, in the golf business, it's all about scale, grow. How do we get this thing as big as possible? In the ministry, it's almost the opposite. It's how do we go deeper?
Yeah.
I don't care if we have 2 people out. I don't care if we have 5 people out. How do we go deeper with these people?
Yeah.
And it's totally opposite. I struggle with that sometimes, and I know we've been called out on it. Thank God for those people who have called us out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the outreach, incredible.
Yeah. I think there's a fine line. I think obviously we want to grow. We want to reach as many people and disciple to them and tell them about Jesus. But then the people that we have, it's for me, it is like business. Like a lot of the trouble with people in business is they're just, we need more clients. It's like, okay, but what about the 10 clients you have over here? Like you should give them quality. Like it's not a turn and burn type of thing. And I see the same thing in the Run Club. It's like, it's cool that these people are coming to Run Club, but let's tell them more about Jesus. Let's add a Bible study at the beginning of our runs. Let's add Bible studies for like a men's group Bible study and a women's group Bible study now that we're adding here in 2026. Let's do these outreaches so people can put their faith to work. Like, it's been super cool to see the amount of depth we've been able to go into, and also the amount of people that are seeing that and noticing it. Absolutely. Even from other run clubs. Like, other people, yeah, I go to this run club, but like everyone kind of is in their own clique. They come to God Made and like, oh my gosh, everyone's so like talkative here and whatever the case may be. I think
that's the representation of the love of God, the love of Jesus. Amen. Right?
Yeah.
Just zooming back, I don't reflect on it much. We definitely should more.
Yeah.
But zooming back on the past 2 years, I mean, it's crazy.
Insane.
What do you think the catalyst was? If maybe someone wants to start a run club. What do you think the key to growth was?
I think
all credit to the Lord, of course.
100%.
But as far as stuff maybe you've done or we've done as a team, what do you think?
Yeah, how does he work through us to make it grow? I give so much credit to my lovely, lovely friend Madison.
Shout out Madison. Incredible.
I remember it was just you and I that would like take calls, and like Josh was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out at the time. And it was just kind of you and I was like, bro, like I need somebody to help me with social media stuff. And then I was just like, Madison, like, would you be down? Because we have seen what the run club could do. Even at that point, there was only 10 to 15 people coming, but Madison would always come, and it changed her life. And I won't speak too much on everything, as far as how it changed her life, but it literally changed her life. So I was like, I think she'd be down to help us with the social media because of what it's done for her. So I was like, okay, let's hit her up. And she was 100% like in to help us. And I think that was the catalyst.
The woman's touch.
The woman's touch.
Incredible.
That's a big thing. And like, even, I know this is how like clubs promote as well. Like, bring women, men will follow, right? So it's literally, that was my mindset. It was just so business mindset. And obviously, God saw that and he was like, okay, maybe not exactly like that, David, but I'm going to help you, steward that a little bit better. So I was just like, all right, Madison, you start doing that. The girls will come, guys will come. And I mean, it's worked. I
noticed a big shift, obviously along with Madison. Incredible. And I've noticed a big shift when we started meeting as a team on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
We started communicating better, putting more time and effort and intention behind the meetings. Massive shift. A bit more organized, the ability to plan bigger events. That's also been a big game changer.
100%. Yeah, I think Madison, there was different moments of catalyst. Like, in my opinion, it was Madison first. Then it was adding Josh. I think every time we add someone, there's like a catalyst, right?
Absolutely.
We add like,
there's more reach.
Yeah, like there's more opportunity to do more, basically. So Madison, then Josh came. And then another big thing was Bible studies at the beginning of Run Club.
Absolutely.
That was huge. And it started with just like 3 people going. And now every time we're running out of seats at the area we do it. There's at least 20 to 30 people coming to the Bible studies every time, co-ed Bible study. And then, like you said, doing the meetings every single week, I think has been huge. So
I think one thing we've sort of skipped over is the Jesus night, the worship night.
True. Yeah.
For context, we had this idea of hosting a worship night, and we tried to plan it under our own accord for weeks. And, a week before, we had no worship team, and we had nowhere to host it. 2 days before, we found a church that would let us host in this really small chapel. I think it would hold about 60 people.
Yeah.
We got a worship team handed to us by the grace of God the day before. And I remember getting to the location the day of. We had an RSVP list of 195 people.
Yeah, we were cooked.
And no way we would have fit in this chapel. So I don't even know what happened. I don't know if somebody pulled strings, but the head pastor called us up. He's like, you guys can use the main chapel.
Such a blessing.
And I remember all of us were just, wow, the Lord provided in that moment. And I think that's a good mindset to be in moving forward, is just have complete faith.
Yeah.
That he's working through us. He will provide. The stuff he puts on our mind might seem crazy, and anything that comes against it is the enemy.
100%. Dude, like, there was a 6 month difference from the first worship night to the
yeah.
most recent.
You can share more on that difference.
Yeah, there was a 6 month difference in between the worship night that we just did. That was how many people?
About 100. Let's just say 200.
Yeah, like very close to 200. And then the first worship night that we did, which was at one of our friends' offices. And there was maybe 15 people.
Yeah, 2 speakers, a TV, and about 15
there was no
people.
worship team. There was just 2 speakers that we were blasting. The captions on the lyrics on the screen were completely off. Everything was like horrible. I think everyone still had a great time. Like,
it was great, yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, we don't know what we're doing. We're just going to take action.
Absolutely. Common theme here.
Amen. So we did that. And because we looked so foolish in that first one, as far as me and just me,
Hey, you came through. You delivered.
Tried. Because of that, we just did the craziest worship night with almost 200 people at a legitimate church with a legitimate worship team.
Well, let's give credit. Sabina, you are a godsend, voice of an angel. Thank you so much.
Let's
and
go.
Treasuring Christ Church.
Shout out.
You know the pastor's name?
No, they don't.
Shout out Treasuring Christ Church. We are eternally grateful for you. You made that night incredible.
Such a good night. Such a cool, fun, life-changing. You could just sense that the Holy Spirit was in that room. And that's such a blessing, man. Such a blessing. Shout out Treasure in Christ. That was a blessing. And overall, life just looks like 2026 is going to be such a huge year for you specifically, and God made, and everything that God has in store. I'm just extremely excited for. Is there any last remarks that you want to throw?
This question.
Any last things that you like? What is something that, I could go 2 directions with this. If somebody is Brady from 8th grade, or you can go even a little bit earlier, like Brady as a nurse, and he's like, my day-to-day is not necessarily bad, but I feel like God has something bigger for me. I don't even really know God like that, like too much, but I feel like there's something bigger for me that I don't really know. Like, what is something that you would tell them? What does that look like for you?
Absolutely take the leap. Absolutely start calling on God. He will deliver in the way that works for you. It might not look the way you want it to, but it will be aligned with his will for you. I think a big one's, man, just watch the way you speak about yourself. Watch the way you talk to yourself. You know, when someone tells you can't do something, you're like, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a lot of thoughts in our head that tell us we can't do something, and we just agree with it. Have that same intensity and disagreement with those voices in your own head, right?
That's good.
You've taught me about this. You're constantly setting these limiting beliefs, and you're constantly saying things that limit what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
Life and death starts in the tongue. We were spoken into existence.
Amen.
Let's speak life into our futures. Let's speak success. I don't even want to use the manifest word. We're not going to go there.
Nah.
But yeah, that's
Amen.
it.
Let's go. Well, thanks for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, David. Hopefully this was my co-host application.
Yeah, you're on. Okay. Good. All right, brother. Let's go. Let's go. That was good, bro.